Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Lifetime Legacy Lawyer podcast. I am Thomas Vick, your co-host, joined by the other co-host, Seth Wilson. Seth, how are you today?
Thomas, I'm doing wonderful. Thanks for asking. Hope you are as well. And I was intrigued by your blog topic today that went out in the weekly digest of how do you get started with estate planning? And we were kind of talking as we were getting started here of like, that's a really interesting question. We talk a lot about what we do and how to do it and things to consider. So I thought maybe it'd be interesting and helpful if I kind of play the role of a potential client, if you will,
Okay.
and ask you what it would be like to start that process with your law firm and what I could expect.
Yeah. So a lot of people find attorneys online. A lot of people find me online by, just Googling estate planning attorney or, estate planning attorney near me or something like that. And that's how a lot of people find me. And, the way that, a lot of people end up, getting in touch with the office is by going to my website, vicklaw.org, and they will have a way to book a call with me. So you can reserve time on my calendar for a phone consultation, or there's also an option for a Zoom call in that book call page. And then a Zoom link will just be automatically generated, and then you'll have me talking to you about how to do your estate plan. And in the meantime, we usually send out a questionnaire to the client that says, are you married? What's your spouse's name and contact information? Some information about your kids. What are their ages? What's their phone number and address and that kind of stuff. And then who do you want to receive your estate, your estate or your trust assets upon your passing? That question is asked in the questionnaire. And then the questionnaire also asks, like, do you have a retirement plan? Do you have, checking accounts, savings accounts? And that gives us a picture of what our conversation needs to be. If there's perhaps a small business that is involved in the estate plan, that can be placed on the questionnaire. So that gives me as the attorney an opportunity to kind of, prepare for the meeting and then be able to bring up those topics with the client whenever we have them. So, fill out that questionnaire, and then we have that conversation via phone call or Zoom. If they reserve some time online. If a person calls and wants an in-person appointment, I love that. It's great to be able to speak with people in person about these things. And so that's obviously available too. And we just talk about, what do you want to accomplish with your estate plan? Do you want to avoid probate? Do you want to, make some plans because there's a blended family? We talk about, all of the priorities of the client and what they hope to accomplish with their estate planning. So that's really how I get started, Seth. I gotta, I try to make it as simple as possible for the client. If people like to get in touch with an attorney via phone or via a Zoom call, you got that option, but also in person is great as well. So that's sort of how I get started. And I will turn the question back over to you at Adler Attorneys. If a person is interested in doing estate planning, how do they get started if they want to use Adler Attorneys?
Very, very similar. We see a lot of our client base coming from other clients that we've helped through word of mouth, and so I will get occasional inquiries through the website where they've come across our website, or like you said, found an attorney that does estate planning near us, and then they'll book a call. And what that does is send an email into our office essentially that says, hey, I'm interested in an estate plan. And oftentimes there's questions about cost, there's questions about what are the options. And what we try to do is do like you do and send over a worksheet. Now, we've tried different types of worksheets in the past, and a lot of times we found that the simpler, the better to start off, because folks are still trying to figure out if we're a good fit for their family. And I try to tell folks I don't have a lot of experience hiring lawyers myself for services, and so I always felt like it was really important to feel like you had a good relationship with the person across the table from you, so to speak, and felt comfortable that your questions are getting answered and that there's going to be an ease of working together. Sometimes personalities just don't match well. And if you don't enjoy the person you're working with, that's going to make the process that much more difficult for everybody. So we try to sort some of those things out and gather, like you say, some of that basic information at the front end. And that was one thing I wanted to chat with you about as well, is if I don't have all of the information available, maybe I don't know everybody's name, or not name, I presume I know their names, but their address or phone number. That may be a different type of planning that we're talking about, right?
Right.
But if I don't have all their contact information right with me, or I don't have all my assets figured out, I don't know where everything is, or I don't know how this document titles this, or my beneficiaries. Do I have to have that all figured out before I can get started?
No, I think those are just questions to ask the attorney, and help the attorney, have the attorney kind of walk you through what you need to do to be able to, officially get all your estate plans done, get your ducks in a row, so to speak. The attorney knows what you need and what needs to be done. And so some of the things that clients are, say, I'm not prepared for a meeting because I don't have this information, I don't have this, balance in this account. That's not, having that is not a prerequisite to meeting with the attorney. The estate plan, is going to be able to, kind of solve all of those problems along the way. You're going to get direction from the attorney about what you need to do. So, we've said it before, the best time to do estate planning is right now, while you can do it. And so don't hesitate if you don't have all the information. You just need to get the process started. And there are some, I've said this to clients in the past, the actual doing of the estate plan is easy. It's getting started that's the hard part. And that, it's not the questionnaire, it's not the book a call, it's, having the conversation with your loved one, about, we need to do the estate plan. Who do we want to receive our property upon death? Who do we want to serve as power of attorney? Those are difficult questions, but the attorney can kind of help guide you through that. And I think once you're in a conversation with an estate planning attorney, you'll feel more comfortable in going ahead and naming somebody to serve in those roles. So yeah, I think just getting started, it's not difficult from a practical standpoint. It's those other conversations that have to lead up to that.
Yeah. Yeah. We actually had this conversation among our attorneys this morning, in thinking through, like, where do we gather the most detail that we need? And it's never at the first meeting. The
Yeah.
first meeting is always kind of a get to know you. Let's talk about options. Let's talk about big picture. We're not going to get down to, dates of birth, social security numbers, and all that stuff that we may need typically at that initial meeting. And some people are already prepared with that because they've maybe gone down this process before. Maybe they moved in from out of state and they're doing an update. So, but some people, this is their first time, and maybe even their first time working with a law firm. And that can be a little bit of a barrier to entry. And so we just try to make it as easy as we can. And in fact, I was going to see if you can see this for us, but put up the image of your website, and just to show how easy this is, right? We go right to the website, vicklaw.org, and right on the homepage is a button that says book a call.
Yep.
And so if you're hesitant to make that happen, all you have to do is go right there and you're going to have everything you need right in one place. And it looks like you can even just pick a date and time that kind of works for you as the individual, which is really cool. And on the other side, our website, same thing on that home page is a contact form. And you can just fill that out and you can just put something as simple as questions about an estate plan and hit the submit button. And that will start the process as you kind of work through what that looks like. And really, we talk a lot here about just getting started, right? Getting started on something is really the next action you can take to get that in place. And I think a lot of lawyers have the same kind of capabilities. And so if that's kind of the hesitation that, hey, I don't have everything figured out, that's why you're talking to the lawyer. They'll help you get that figured out and walk you through the process.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you showing that to the audience, Seth, because I think that just shows how simple it is for both of us. Just go to the website, put in a contact us message, or, book a call, and you can really get started pretty simply with that.
Yeah. And it's a lot of times I think it's really just starting to develop that relationship, as I mentioned. And I think that is really the key element to success, because as we talk about here as a lifetime legacy lawyer, this isn't a transaction where we're just writing a plan and good luck. This is a relationship long term where we want to walk through and follow up with you and make sure things are going as they're supposed to. And if you've set up a trust or something, maybe you need help getting assets retitled into the trust or bank accounts changed over. We're there to be a resource as we work through those processes together. And so that's a lot of fun when we have that opportunity to sit down and help clients really get the foundation in place that they want, and then the ongoing activities that come alongside that.
It definitely is an honor to be able to walk clients through these stages of life, and, just in my nearly 10 years of practicing, it's pretty cool to be able to see how, things that you've done, 5 or 6 years ago have led to a conversation that's happening now, and that's going to lead to other conversations in the future. So just being able to walk people through, these stages of life is a pretty cool thing for us as estate planning attorneys.
Yeah. And it's always just so refreshing to see the clients again.
Yeah.
You've done the work over time, and maybe you had some email follow up or phone call follow up on an annual basis, but 3-4 years down the road, when you get to sit down and you've seen the kids and they've grown, they've changed,
Yeah.
it's just really neat because it puts all of that into perspective and to reality of the planning that we do is not just words on paper. It's really these individuals that are being affected by these words. And that's really kind of a cool thing. And it's a responsibility that we take seriously, obviously, but it's always nice to see the individuals that you're planning for. And actually, we ask as part of our intake process for a family photo.
Oh,
And so we kind of get to know who is who, and just continue to build that recognition with the clients of when you see that person versus just their name, it just brings them a little bit closer to reality. And we don't always get to meet all the family members, but it's just neat to be able to see that.
yeah, I love that practice. I might have to steal that one from you, Seth.
Anytime.
Family picture. But well, you've already kind of told everybody, but how can people find you?
Well, you're right. We are right here at noblesvilleattorney.com. It's really the easiest place to find us. And I noticed even as we picked up on your website, Thomas, you have a map and a location right there, which is really cool because then you can grab those directions to get in. So noblesvilleattorney.com if you're looking for our law firm up here in the heart of Hamilton County. How about yourself, Thomas?
You just go to viclaw.org and book a call just like Seth showed us. You can do a phone call or Zoom call, or you can just call our number and we can schedule you for an appointment. So, as always, Seth, I enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. See you, Thomas.